We are back, the Breakdown Boys, Wade and Sensei.
Oos.
There it is.
Yeah, here.
Sensei, it's been a couple days, and I'm saying, you boys, listen, when people see the video I got coming out, they are going to understand why it's been a couple days since we recorded. I've been sore. Might as well just show the people, man. Let me just flex on them one time.
Bro, that looks
what
bad.
we're dealing with.
Looks like you got an attack with like a mountain lion or something.
What's that little that rhyme? I don't know who was doing it. If I'm in the woods with a grizzly bear, help the bear.
Oh yeah. Bro, that does not look good at all.
That's me. Help the bear, bro. That video will come out soon on the main channel. But today we are here, Sensei, to talk about a couple different things, and they kind of lead into each other, right? So let's start with the more tame version. Did you see Misfits number 8's announcement?
A little bit.
Okay.
It's like a 4-way thing, tag team.
Well,
tag team on tag
there.
team. You know,
we'll
me,
get
dude.
there.
I don't even know. I barely know the freaking rules after.
I do know you, and I understand you love the
wrestling.
tag team action. But
so,
let's talk about the rest of the card here. Let's start off now. I don't know these individuals, but maybe you will. Brandon Herrera versus Action Man to lead off the main card.
you got pictures of these people?
Yeah. Here, let me show you.
Yeah. I need the visuals, son.
You need the pics.
Oh man, needs the visuals.
All right, so here we are. We have the main card on the screen now. Brandon Herrera, Action Man. Let's just look up. I just want to look up and see what we're dealing with here. Let's look up. Let's cook up. Now, any thoughts outside of just the main event? Did you get to see anything else?
No.
Oh, snap.
Wait.
Brandon Herrera got freaking views on views. We talking
Look at
about a
that.
superstar here. Hold on a second. Let's see what he's into. He looks like okay, clearly a gun kind of hunter and or
Good old American man.
Good old American gunslinger here. Talking about different guns. F99 P90s, AR-180s, 50 cals. I'm going to click on one of these ones. So this is our guy here. He's obviously understands his way around some weapons, right? He's got some. Yep. He has the right to bear arms, Sensei, but can he swing those same arms here in the boxing ring? We don't know, but this is a good introduction. He looks like he's a guy that does a lot of gun fail, you're not holding your gun the right way. We know how, by the way. Breakdown PD, we were taught by the best. SEAL team, boy. Watch out. What y'all saying? So he's taking on Action Man.
Okay, Action Man.
I don't know if there's any boxing footage of any of these guys. I hesitate to say that there is. We get to the reintroduction of the tag team matchup between the champ.
Oh, wow.
Dean the Great. And Lil Cray Cray. I don't know if you've seen his videos, but he's super talented.
Dean and Cray Cray, that's a tough tag team right there.
Now, Kimbo Slice Jr. and OJ Rose.
Are they the guys who they just fought each other, right?
They just fought each other on number 6.
And OJ won. He was the sprinter.
OJ was the sprinter. He won.
Correct.
A lot heavier.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Apparently,
what was the weight class?
Yeah, they were 165 when they fought each other, which is 30 pounds bigger than Dean fights. But
yeah,
I've heard that this is going to be 15 pounds. But even still, that amount of difference apparently can't be sanctioned. So this is going to be an exhibition. To be honest, I don't know how a tag team gets sanctioned at all as a pro match.
Right? It's being sanctioned as a pro match?
This one isn't. No.
No, it's got to be.
The main event, I don't really know how that's going to work. But, so, okay, tag team here. What are you saying?
I got to go. Oh, man. I got to go with the more skilled guys.
Not even like picking-wise. What are you saying about the tag team being made? What do you think about the matchup?
Well, it's going to be interesting because you have, how do I put this? The last one they did was, lower tier card guys. Right?
Yeah. At this time, they made it. Yeah.
Correct. But this one, you got Dean, who's literally the top of the freaking...
He's the champ.
His weight class. He's the champ.
Now, I should say, this looks like it's the second bout on the card because of where it is. It's actually the co-main event. So
that makes more sense. That's the one thing I was like, why isn't this not the
co-main?
Dean was on
He was on Twitter and on Instagram being like, bro, I don't think he knew he was the co-main event. He was like, I'm fine about to fight in this fight unless I'm co-main, a lot of this. He was like,
it
I'm
makes
not
sense.
gonna.
We had him on our top tier on the tier list.
Yeah, he should be. My whole thing with this, we'll see how this tag team thing goes. The first one did go really well, so fair play to him. My whole thing with this is, why are we not featuring Dean or trying to as a main event here? Maybe they did. I don't know what happened behind the scenes. I'd heard they tried to make some matchups with Dean. I think there was supposed to be a tag team between Dean and Cray Cray and Adam Saleh and Waleed.
I did.
But even
saw
still,
something on like that. Yeah.
I feel like I don't even like that as much as I would like a not a pro, but a tournament style format.
Yeah.
Dean, Cray Cray, Waleed, Adam Saleh, Uncle Pizza, Yuddy Gang. 6 perfect individuals, and you put them on the same card. Not saying that you could get all those matchups right away, or maybe you even give 2 of them a bye. Maybe you give Dean and Waleed a bye, and everybody else got to scrap it out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's the only thing I worry about this, because I feel like Dean is carrying heavy on this matchup. He is. You know what I'm saying? This entire tag team thing, he's carrying heavy in
like
terms
name
of
value-wise, you mean?
Yeah. And then what happens
course,
is, like, what if Cray he loses, and all of a sudden there's an L on Dean's record? You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's an exhibition, so I don't think it'll technically matter, but I don't think if unless Dean is the one that actually gets knocked out, if that happens, I don't think that this really does anything to Dean.
Yeah.
As far as like diminishing him or whatever, I just felt like again, they maybe tried to do this, so it's hard to be like, well, you should have done. I don't know. Maybe they tried this.
The positive that can come from this, though, is let's say Dean goes in here and puts work on both of these guys. Then it's just like damn, Dean just added to his stock. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Cray Cray does the same.
That's true.
Because then you can go, oh, well, this guy in your same weight class, hey, he looks kind of good. Maybe we need to, make a little one-on-one act. I don't know, something, to build.
That is true. Yeah.
I just want to build that class. There's so many good guys there.
Yeah, because they're not. You said there was 30-pound difference?
Well, okay. Dean usually fights at 135.
Yep. And it was 165. Yeah.
Those 2 guys weighed in at 165 last time. I'm sure it's not going to be that this time. But again, okay, even if it's a 15-pound difference at weigh-ins, we all know that guys are going to rehydrate and or gain a little bit of weight back after weigh-ins, especially if they're cutting. So if it's 15 at weigh-ins, it might be 20 to 25 on fight night.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's going to make a difference. I know OJ is getting into the sport. He's new. He's still learning. I mean, Slice has been in MMA for a while now. But Dean is stupid talented. He's with Brian Valoria at Brick House. Not a better coach for his style. Think about the weight class. Brian Valoria fought at around 135.
Correct.
I think he bounced between 4 divisions as a champ. So there's not a better guy to be teaching Dean the Great right now. For his style specifically, there's not a better guy. So that, and I'm, again, Cray Cray getting his opportunity. You've heard about the guy and doing the same kind of stuff Dean was doing, the street fight stuff for a while. So
that's the thing. It is a good opportunity for the other guys, because you get a guy like Dean, and all of a sudden you got 3 other names with him. Can elevate him. Could
people, or it could just completely
when
destroy
when I see that, I'm like, oh, I want to watch Dean.
Exactly. Anytime Dean's on the card, you want to watch him.
Exactly. So
you put him in there. It's like, oh, I want to see the champ. You know what I mean?
It's risky, though. It's risky.
It is risky.
It's part of it, though.
Yeah, 100%. But it's also risky for OJ and Kimbo, because what if these 25ers and 35ers beat them up?
Damn.
Where
do you go from there?
That's what I'm saying. You've sacrificed those 2 essentially. But we'll see how it goes. We know these tag teams are a little bit of a toss up depending on how they work and how the referee is able to judge it. Right? No referee is used to doing that, so we'll see. But it's good to highlight Dean, like getting him on the card. Again, he's not the second fight. It's just the way that looks on this poster. So next up, this one, Sensei, is my favorite fight on the card. I'm telling you. How about this? Alan Belcher's coming back into our space. I don't really know. Versus Hasim Rahman Jr.
Where have I seen Alan Belcher before?
Alan Belcher is 18-8 as an MMA fighter.
Okay, got it.
Fought Bisping in his last UFC bout, but Sensei, he's the bare knuckle heavyweight champion of the world right now.
That's why, bro. I've seen this guy recently a lot.
Yes, dude, and he looks wildly different from the time he was in the UFC.
Yes,
jacked, son.
I was like, what? Him
He
versus
fought at middleweight.
Hasim.
No, he fought at 205 in the UFC, so he's now the heavyweight champ in BKFC. I love this fight. I love it. If you want to talk about like the differences in crossover boxing, while I may not be on board with every new idea that comes across, I certainly am on board with, if you're going to bring pros in, giving them interesting matchups and being a little bit more of that crossover heavy. Alan Belcher and Iraq is a dope matchup to me. I love that. So,
dude, that's
like
another tough
Rock
fight
should
for
win
Hasim.
this.
Hasim's
I was gonna
been
say he should win.
Tough fights, bro.
That's what I'm saying, bro. He was about to take Vitor, which, okay, you could say, he had the weight advantage, whatever.
Right.
Vitor's fucking dangerous, even if he's older. Vitor falls out. They go, here's Greg Hardy plus 100 pounds on you.
I know. I can't believe it. Bro, that fight was so tough to watch.
Because he was having success early, and Greg was just like, whatever.
Yeah.
Even though that's gotten Greg in trouble now recently, too, taking shots like that. But
that's
going to give him Alan Belcher.
That can be.
That's the best fight on the card, in my opinion.
Yeah, this could be literally a fight, like a huge
banger
fight for influencer boxing.
I agree.
Can bring attention,
depending
like,
on
cross platforms to like mainstream sports. This fight right here can be like a Misfits fight that makes it into the entire
ESPN.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Like all Bleacher Report. They're going to pick this up if something happens, which we think it will, with two heavyweights throwing around like this.
Especially a current champ in combat right now.
Yes, a current BKFC champ. It's like if
time?
Mike Perry came over.
This is the first time we had a
BK, yeah. Any champ, really. Yeah.
I was gonna say an active champ in at least a credible or notable
combat sports organization. Yeah,
100%. That's huge.
I love it, man. I love it. That one's one I'm looking forward to. But Sensei, how about this? Anthony Taylor versus Paul Bamba. I love this one too, if I'm honest. I love this one too.
Dude,
these are my two favorite ones on the card.
That's going to be a tough fight. Because you got, like, I can see kind of like the same thing happening with Bamba. With what Avila did, just kind of Anthony Taylor just trying to recreate that same approach. But then Bamba's coming off like, I'm not going to let that happen again.
That's what I'm saying. Paul is like, if there's anything, at least just from talking to him, it's really hard to know, but he seems super motivated to just, he didn't feel like he put on his best performance that night. And part of that is due to Chris Avila, but I think part of it too is due to maybe just, I don't know, Paul just not having his best night, right?
Yeah,
but
this is
Anthony
a big
Taylor
fight
makes a lot of guys not have a good night.
Yeah, this is a big fight for AT too, because if he can go out here and make a statement,
huge.
Because he's had those fights where like he beat Poppy right via decision, but not like a huge statement, like not like he made a statement, like he won. You know what I'm saying?
It wasn't like a difference in like a massive difference in skill or something.
Right, and he didn't embarrass Sal Poppy,
Right.
And then he had like the Ryan Taylor fight. He's had those fights where we're like, what is this?
Right.
Then he shines sometimes. But if he can go a guy who, like with Bamba who's credible, like influencers aren't jumping out their seat to fight Paul Bamba. You know what I'm saying? So
this one
I
really like,
a guy out like that, and you make a statement. He needs that because I feel like sometimes with AT, it's you don't know what you're gonna get, and you're kind of like, oh, sometimes it become a little redundant and repetitive, even if he does win.
Yeah,
because of the way he fights.
I think they're going 4 rounds. I really would have liked to seen this one be 6.
Yeah,
I really wanted this to be 6.
Yeah.
Same with Rock and Belcher. I really wanted that to be 6 too. But it's at 85, so 185 pounds here, and we know Pretty Boy kind of fluctuates between. I mean, he doesn't really get down to 55 anymore. I'm sure he could.
55,
but he Bro, he used to fight at 45. What are you saying about that? Yes, bro. Bellator 45er. But 85, I feel like, is a bit. Oh yeah, he was. Yeah, I feel like 85 is a bit big for him. Like naturally, I don't think he walks around 85. And is like in good fighting. He might walk around 85, but I don't know if he's like fighting shape 85.
That's like me, 85.
But Paul's naturally like 190, 195. So that's like a good fighting weight for him. So that'll be interesting. 4 rounds.
That's a good fight.
I wish it was 6. It's a great fight. Great fight. This is where I give Misfits the credit for not only just those two, but even Brandon Herrera, Action Man. I think that's going to create somebody that people want to watch.
Brandon comes in because sometimes the influencers come in, and which we do like, where they're brand new to boxing because it's interesting to see and it's good for their fan base to catch it. Yeah. But it's nice to have a guy come in and he seems like he can be dangerous.
Yeah,
Like, you
already.
probably wouldn't want to fight this guy if you're on the street or if you're in a bar. You know what I mean? If you've never fought before.
Jake the Viking.
Right.
Those guys are dangerous, bro. Just like big, solid. I don't know what kind of athlete Brandon is, but Jake is a freak athlete, so I played a mini-con for that one. And even the tag team, like, yeah, it may not be my cup of tea, but it does have some entertainment value, and as long as it's not the focus of what Misfits does, that's my whole thing we'll get into in a second, then I'm okay with it. I just, the gimmick stuff I'm not a huge fan of. But then we have our main event. Speaking of gimmicks. Survivor Tag, Sensei.
The
segues, bro. Survivor Tag featuring Nick LMAO, friend of the show. He keeps asking me. We're going to have him on soon. I definitely want to talk to him again. Swarms, that's my guy, diss track legend. B-Dave, the Crab Daddy. Love that guy, too. Heard a rumor about what he's wearing on his walkout in Tennessee.
Tennessee.
And then Ryan Johnston making his way back into the scene here.
Okay.
So off rip, Sensei,
what
do
is
you know what
Survivor?
Okay, you don't know.
What do we do?
Of course you don't know.
We're Survivor, like the Survivor show.
Yeah, it's you got to go to.
You can vote people off and stuff.
You can vote people off the island. That's what we're doing.
You can't eat or something.
Let me. Who you voting off the island, Sensei? If in influencer boxing, who you voting off the island first? Right off rip.
Out of those four, or everybody?
Out of anybody, bro. Right off rip, you got to vote someone off.
Dang, vote someone off. Hold on. Bro, I can't. I'm trying to think of who's someone that. Oh man,
who's a threat, bro? Who's a threat to Sensei on the island on the game of Survivor? You know who I got to vote off is Keem, bro. Keem's too good at team building, dog. He's too good at team building. I'd go to sleep one night.
I think of fighters.
I'd go to sleep one night and wake up the next day, and he'd have like a Keemstar Survivor team, and I'd be like sitting there like alone, and they're all just like looking at me, Like,
listen, if you're on a Survivor Island, you better make sure Keem is on your team.
You got to be, Keem's got to be on your team.
If he's on your team, you are losing.
You're done. Well, listen, here's the rule, Sensei, while you think about that. Survivor Tag rules overview, okay? 4 fighters in designated corners. First 2 men in the ring to be decided with a social media poll. I actually like that. A tag can be made at any time to any fighter, in parentheses, other than consecutively to the same fighter when all 4 competitors remain in the fight. Refusal of tag equals elimination. TKO, KO, or knockdown equals elimination. Winner is last man standing, or I assume, and I think that's what they said.
One knockdown is
you get knocked down, you're done. You're done.
Wow.
I kind of like that, though, man, to be honest. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
You don't want to have guys get knocked down and then get up and and then trying to stumble around to tag out. I like that. Knockout, knockdown, cool, whatever. And then if there are multiple people still left, then it does go to a judge's scorecard, which good fucking luck. You know what I mean?
Wait a second.
So yeah.
So time out. My brain just freaking broke. Go back to that. Go back to that thing. Okay?
There's some more things that they didn't put there that we do have to talk about.
Okay, if you want to
the
do that first,
judging apparently. Actually, we could just go to the DAZN website. The judging apparently, if you are on the ring and you don't get in for that round, or like I don't know how it works. If you don't get in that round, you're going to get a 9 as your score for that round. If you don't get to participate, you get a 9.
Oh, because you don't have to. Okay, so how long are the rounds?
3 minutes, I think.
And you don't have to tag anybody in.
You don't have to tag anyone in, but you also can't. You don't remain in the ring after that round ends. If you're in the ring.
Okay, so if you're in the ring for the whole round duration,
right?
The next round, obviously, the next guy goes.
You got to sit out, and somebody's going to go. Now, just off the surfaces, I know it's a lot to get your head around. The way that you're thinking about it and looking at it right now, do you think the fighters are going to have a problem remembering a lot of this stuff?
After you get cracked, maybe. But also, it's... I mean, I can assume these guys is a thing. I'm saying that right now. But if I'm in this...
They have to practice it.
I'm going
you have to practice
every scenario in my brain, right?
Here, I'll throw you a scenario, and you tell me how to get past this, because Keem and I had a little debate.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
I have questions. I'm sure you're going to probably say it, but I'm thinking Like, so if I tag somebody in, is that
Yep.
lessen my score? Obviously, like during the round.
Well, it depends on how you did in the round, I guess. This is the thing that I don't understand. How do you look at a commission and go, score that round? If someone tags in the middle and then another guy comes in.
Because if I tag, that's almost like you're tapping out. It's literally like a tap out.
It is, but let's say you knocked a guy down and then you tag out to save some energy. Do you get a 10? And what happens if the next guy comes in? Does he get a 10 if he doesn't knock the guy down, but he has a really good rest of the round?
Yeah, because let's say...
And how much of the round do you need to be in to have your 10 score?
Yeah, let's say I'm winning the round, right?
Yeah, you're doing your thing. Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting a little gas. He starts tagging me. Oh, let me tag
out. Hold on. Let me get out of there. What's your score?
Am I only being judged for what I fought, or are we taking into consideration the fact that I tagged out? You know what I'm saying?
That's a good question. You would think it would have to be you're judged on on what you did during the fight. That would be that'd be the easiest way to do it.
Because then I get tagged. Because let's say his other part, right? And maybe you're thinking about this too. Because I'm thinking, let's say I'm fighting whatever. Yep. And I just had the thought in my brain. Now I'm trying to remember it. Like, am I losing? Let's say I'm losing the round. Because we can go vice versa. I'm losing.
Yep.
And then the last 30 seconds, some other dude comes in, but I kind of dominate that.
Right.
Like, do I still lose the round? Right. I got no idea.
But how do you judge that?
But
let's say you're getting your ass kicked.
But the other dude loses the round too. Because let's say he loses.
That's what I'm saying. Let's say you're getting your ass kicked. And then, like you said, in the last 30 seconds, you come in and drop a guy. Or the guy comes in and you drop him. How do you score it?
Actually, because the other guy got a 10 because he was winning, I assume.
Sure. So let's say, okay, the first guy, he gets his 10, he gets out.
But then I was losing.
My score, how does my score affect? I lost the first exchange, but I maybe won the last part. Do I get my 9?
I dominated the other guy.
I don't know. This is what I'm saying is like...
There could be a lot of draws.
You hope that you don't get to the end when there's two guys there. The hope has to be that there's one guy left standing so that no way there's going to be any judging. Because how the fuck do you judge it?
But last standing, but you could have a situation. You could
have a situation where 4 guys are left.
Well, you could have a situation where, I believe, if my brain is thinking about this correctly, there's the last 2 guys, and I end up beating that dude up, but he still wins because he ended up winning the other
he had
ones.
more. Exactly.
Not against me.
Not against you. But he won the first 3 rounds. He did well, but that last round, he never got to see you until that last round.
Like let's say I had multiple exchanges with this guy, and every time I have an exchange,
just piecing him up.
But he ends up winning the whole thing.
He's like bloodied up, black eye, because he won the last 3 rounds, and you maybe didn't have the most success with the other guys.
Maybe
whatever.
I had a chance to get in there, or maybe he knocked somebody else down, vice versa.
Yep.
That's tricky.
It's tricky.
But maybe it's intriguing the fact that we're talking about it. Yeah, the pure chaos.
It's the pure chaos. This is what it is. This is why it was booked. Pure, unadulterated chaos.
Because I'm like, bro, I just hope that it's not like for the fighter's sake. For the fighter's sake, that you can rob like a scoring situation like this because of how janky the scoring is. You can have a situation where somebody
100%.
who performs well doesn't get the credit they deserve because of.
Let me throw another scenario at you.
Some weird technicality.
I threw at Keem too, and I don't know if this
is,
we had the little debate. This is
when
I can't get a little back and forth. I can't get my head around this one. Just like you brought up some ones that I'm like, I don't have an answer for you. What happens if you spend, and I think they addressed this, but I don't know how they addressed it. What happens if you spend the majority of the time in the round? Right? Let's say social media picks Nick LMAO versus B-Dave, round 1.
Yeah.
Let's say whoever is having, let's say just for argument's sake, let's say Nick is having the ridiculously good round, just piecing B-Dave up, but he's not knocking him down, but he's piecing him up. And in the last 5 seconds, so that he can come back in the next round, he tags out. So now the guy that got in for 5 seconds just stands in the ring for the last 5 seconds, but because the thing says you have to switch at the end of the round, does now Nick LMAO get to come back in for that second round?
Oh, wow.
And go again? And this guy that just got 5 seconds is like, well, fuck, and then because you can't refuse to tag in or you're eliminated.
Oh, you can't refuse.
Refusal of tag equals elimination.
Yeah.
So if I walk over to you,
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
in those last 10 seconds, I'm like, hey, fam, go get it. You can't just be like, nah. You have to do it.
Yeah, that's true. Because then if you go in, then it's like you have to switch.
You got to switch. You got to come out at the end of the round. Maybe, like I said, I bring it up because I hope that they found a way to, like, you can't like tag in the last 30 seconds or something. Like, do that.
Right.
Make that one of the rules. I don't think that'll be super overcomplicated. But
it's like you may need that in the last 20 seconds. You're getting cracked. You're like, oh,
I know, but that's the thing. It's like, and Keem was like, oh, it's a strategy. It's a strategy. I'm like, that's not a strategy for the guy on the outside. He can't do anything.
Yeah, you can handcuff him that way.
Exactly. You can handcuff, like, if you really don't want to see a guy in there, or you think he's a threat, you can handcuff that dude easy. And you better hope that you're one of the first ones on social media picked. Go do those social media runs, kids. You want guys to promote, right now's the time to do it. You know what I mean?
Because if you can tag, I guess you're saying last 10 seconds, you tag him in, he's done, you go back in and you don't tag him again last 10 seconds.
Because this is 4 rounds. It's not like guys can't go 4 rounds by themselves.
Right.
So.
Man, there's a lot of strategy because then you can all right, you know what? Let me tag the other guy can let me tag him in because he's in there longer. Then you got to trust that because then you have to fight the guy. Because
you may be just tagged in.
Question. I just thought of this because it's not tag team. It's everyone for themselves.
Everybody
right?
for themselves, yeah. So you might tag a guy in and then 5 seconds later be fighting.
I can tag anybody though?
Anybody. So there's 2 guys on the outside.
So not like I can tag anyone at any time.
Anyone, anytime, any place.
Oh, so it's like if you're trying to sabotage him, like, no, I can try to sabotage you or just like,
I don't know what the limit is on the number of tags that can happen. I don't know if there even is one.
That's got to matter because you just can't be like.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think anybody would do that, but that wouldn't benefit anybody to do. But I'm sure there's going to be more rules explained. But
hold on, time out.
What happened?
My thought process.
What happened?
You know what would be crazy? What would be crazy is, let's say dudes getting peas. In my brain, I didn't really think of the refusal. Like you can't refuse and everyone for themselves.
Yeah.
But let's say it's I tag, let's say I'm getting pieced up. So I tag myself out.
Yeah.
And then they switch. And then the other dude's nah, son, you're getting back in.
Getting right back in, bro. It might be. I don't know. Again, that would be if you're looking at it as a competitor and you see a guy getting effed up,
there, put him back in.
You keep tagging and putting him back in. You do.
Yeah.
Even if that's just ruthless, you do. You just keep putting him back in. Keep putting him back in.
Right.
Boom, and one gone right away. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, there's definitely some strategy involved there.
That's crazy.
I don't know how this is gonna work, but my thing was this too. Imagine explaining this to a commission.
It's impossible.
How the fuck are the judges going to actually score this if the nightmare scenario happens? And
Where is this fight happening? Where's this fight happening?
Nashville, Tennessee, brother. Come on now.
Wow. Oh, this is Nashville?
Yeah, bro. That's another thing. This has got to be an exhibition. There's no way they sanction this as some kind of pro fight. I don't understand how you would.
Which is weird because I don't know of Nashville's commission, but usually exhibitions in the U.S., no head guards is tough.
Tough to
gloves,
get done, usually.
And the glove situation, too.
14s, usually. I think that's the thing with Dean and them. They have to fight in 14s as well.
That's still tough because even Florida's one of the only places you can get
Florida, Louisiana.
Because
some of these smaller boxing states, I won't say they're the wild, wild west to the degree of some other countries, but they are a little bit more lax, when you have a boxing state like New York or California or Vegas or something like that, you're probably not going to see something on that level. But Tennessee is not known for its highest level boxing outside of my boy Caleb Plant and some others. But
wait, what are you saying? You like it? What's going on? How do you feel about it?
I mean, listen, you know how I feel about stuff like this. Here's my thing, okay? And let's just get into this conversation now because if we just don't, then I'm not going to be able to hold it in. So. My worry is this.
What you worried about?
If we continue, and give me your opinion, if we continue to go this way, into and lean into the circus aspect of influencer boxing. My opinion is, at a certain point, the gimmicks run out. And sure, you can create more gimmicks, but how many times can you do it and just rely on the gimmick? Because at some point, in my opinion, it will die. Because that's not what people came here for. And as a one-off thing, survival tag team, cool. But people came here to watch their favorite influencers box. One-on-one, with some sort of beef. If you can't find beef, then some sort of reason to get in there.
Yeah.
They were here because of the stories of those influencers before they boxed. Then the journey to then box. It's all a part of that journey. Relying on gimmick match, here's some names, and no offense to the guys in it, they have some big communities, but you're not putting KSI in a tag team match, or you're putting him in a fatal 4-way. Why is that? Why not?
Yeah, the only way that would happen if it was like all like Tommy Fury, Logan Paul, Jake Paul, KSI.
You would waste 4 pay-per-views right then. Right
exactly. Wouldn't it be smart?
But that's why. Because KSI has built himself into a bigger than this thing.
Yeah.
If we are going to continue to survive as an influencer boxing scene, and I don't know that we will, I don't think this is the way to go. Because it prioritizes the gimmick over the person. The person, in my opinion, is what you're watching for. It's different from the pro boxing scene, because it is that you're not watching pro boxing to see your favorite creator learn to box. You're watching it because it's the highest level boxing. I don't watch influencer boxing because it's the highest level. I watch it because I'm enthralled with the personalities that are doing it and how seriously they're taking it. The work that goes into it, along with their YouTube personality, the reason that we got on board, is why I keep saying we need to get back to that YouTuber side. But this isn't YouTuber side. This is sideshow Bob. This is, in my opinion. What do you think?
I mean, the one-off, like it sounds fun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, this should be interesting, you know? And when I talked about it before, even with the tag team, because of me, I'm not such a like sport purist when it comes to combat, because I'm like, oh, there's so many different forms of combat. It's just another way of doing combat. Like, you can add kicks at some point. Like, you can add no kicks, punches, elbows, knees, 2 people, 1 person, whatever. Cool. Knives, no knives, sticks. What are we doing today? So like that part of it, as a martial artist, I'm just kind of like, oh, like, what's this? It's not so like I don't feel like, what should I say, like married to one specific one more than the other.
Right.
Like boxing or whatever. So, but I definitely agree that, you have to, I'm like, we got to wait and see, because like, if this doesn't work and it's a little janky, like that's it. It doesn't work, And
you're doing that every time.
It's going to be tough to do it again. Yeah. Every time you do something like this as a tag team, because the last tag team was fun and it worked. Right. So now you can do it again. And then it's like, okay, but if it doesn't work and it's, like fights, whether they work or not, people are going to watch them again. I'm not sure that the shelf life of a fatal 4-way, the survivor tag or the tag team works that way. It's like one of those high risk things. Like, okay, it could be a lot of fun, or it could not. And if it's not, it doesn't work.
Let's say it is a lot of fun. Let's say it is wildly popular. What then happens, Sensei, if the only things that are wildly popular are the newest gimmick?
Yeah, that won't be
then
good.
What happens?
That won't be good at all, because then it's just, you're trying to, you just become.
Why even watch the one-on-one boxing? Why even put boxing on? Why not just have them sack race?
It'll make me feel like I'm watching. Remember, like Jake even talked about it. Jake Paul, his vlogs, like even Logan, like it stopped becoming about the vlog and just trying to top the last thing that you did.
Exactly.
And it got worn out, and it can't be the thing that it lives on. I think it could be something that's
it could be a one-off. Like, again, Misfits always talks about, oh, there's something for everybody. There's something for everybody. And in this capacity, I agree.
For sure.
But if it does start to trend more toward let's just do gimmicks, that won't be something for everybody.
It was like chess boxing. Remember like chess boxing? It was like
chess boxing. We were on live stream
cool.
going like we were like, oh, this is cool, whatever. Yeah, cool. Like we get a little round of this, round of that. We didn't know what the fuck was going on with the chess.
And then it got interesting. We were watching it, but it wasn't. It's not like
I'm not sitting down and watching that every weekend.
No. Exactly. It was interesting because it's never been done before. And it was like, oh, I didn't know what to expect. And there was parts of it when I was watching, I'm like, oh, whoa, I'm watching the chess more. I'm doing that, So that's gimmicky. But
that's what I worry about is when does
one-off. Do we keep,
When, but and again,
and Misfits 15 or 16.
Exactly.
I see what you're saying.
15.
It's like what
parking lot brawl. Like
telephone booth.
Yeah, right. Like
boxing,
5-on-5 in the ring at once. Royal Run,
like the Russians are doing.
Yeah, legit. Like what the Russians are doing. Blindfold MMA. Like whatever. It's just something I don't think is going to benefit the scene as a whole moving forward. And I don't know even.
Yeah.
I don't know how long a DAZN would want to partner with something like that if you start having it go a little too far off the rails.
Yeah, I think like right now how it's being done is I think it can work.
Right.
I think you go any more, it's I guess
apparently they're going to go more.
Like what are you saying more?
I don't know what it is, but Keem was like, "Oh, we got better. We got more ideas. We got this. Mam's got this brilliant idea." And I'm like,
cage match,
dude. I could see them doing some kind of Royal Rumble thing. I could see them doing some kind of like not cage match, but putting some structure around the ring, even though it wouldn't like you're boxing. I don't know what that would even do, but just for the visual of it, I don't know what it is, but I do have a feeling this is not where it ends.
Yeah, I see. So you don't like the way that it's trending.
I don't like the avenue goes
the trajectory of it all.
But that's just my opinion too. It's like I'm not necessarily right. I wasn't right when I said that the tag team I had some concerns about. Blah blah. It did well.
Yeah,
I acknowledge that, just like I will if this does well. But I look at trends in other sports that I've seen that are pretty similar, that try stuff like this. Like MMA, like this Russian, 5-on-5 stuff or blindfold or intergender. And I'm like, yeah, that's not going to work. And sure enough, these companies die out and they do one show and they're dead. Professional wrestling tried this same thing. Look at when Eastern Championship Wrestling became Extreme Championship Wrestling, and they had a hot run for about 3-4 years where dudes were breaking fucking light tubes over each other's head and pile driving people through barbed wire. And the fans loved it for about 3 years. And then all of a sudden, the surprises ran out, and you've seen the guy cut himself open and bleed 20 different times, and you've seen the freaking power bombs off the apron and the lights out matches where people are blindfolded and people are on fucking fire. And then you're kind of going, why would I watch a one-on-one pro wrestling match anymore? Like, why would I watch two dudes just wrestle when I just saw this guy light himself on fire and dive through a table?
All I'm thinking of is that one where it's the two people that are like older. I think they're older. They're skinny. And I think it's a girl, but she's like jacked. They try to like flying hammer fist or whatever. And she just freaking melts these.
I just don't get it, man.
It was like the Island Boys, but they were like elderly guys. I don't know if you saw this clip.
Those are the Peninsula Men, if you didn't know. Those aren't the Island Boys. That's the Peninsula Men. Those guys, yeah, for sure. But I don't know, man. Listen, at the end of the day, I know people look at me and they're like, Wade, you just shit on everything. You don't have anything good to say. I do. I like this guy. That's how they talk. That's how they sound. I like this card. As a whole, I like the card. I think that the two most entertaining matches, just my opinion.
They make you sound like you're that old school, the wing team football coach. We're just thinking this new spread offense, y'all throwing the ball. We need to get
this
back.
Bullshit. Y'all think y'all are damn Dallas Cowboys in a shotgun. We ran a veer when I was around.
Hard
had two hands under center, and we were playing with hall bladder. We weren't playing with a
football.
That's damn right, son. 3 yards in a cloud of dust, son.
Yeah, 3 yards at a time. Come on.
But no, bro, I'm not even a boxing. People are like, Wade, you're such a boxing purist, bro. I I'm an MMA guy. Like, I'm a mixed martial arts guy at my heart.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
You know, but it is what it is. Listen,
I
think
will
the
say
card
this.
is fun.
I will say when you add more fighters into it, the topic does become less about the fighter and more about the structure of the gimmick, the structure of the fight, whether it be tag team, survivor, which is a different way to think about it, but it does take away from the individual fighter and their story, because when it's just two fighters, it's just about them and their story.
Grudge
but
match,
hey,
man.
let's see what this survivor tag is about.
Let's see what happens.
You know?
And again, I know what'll happen too, so I'm going to predict it now. Regardless of the things that I've said, like, oh, you know, maybe not necessarily the most weighed thing, but I want them to be successful. I think it, as a one-off, it could be successful. If and when it is successful this first time, watch Twitter line it up for me, buddy. I'm going to stand there like this. And those motherfuckers are, wait, Plim, did you see it? Did you see how it's going to go, man? I know already. But that's my prediction for it. I will get flamed on the night, which is
funny because you're literally, this is the kind of the vibe that I got with Norden with FaZe Rain, right? Mm-hmm. People coming at him, like the people who were coming at him. I'm like, you guys must not know like FaZe Rain whatsoever.
No,
because this man's slogan, his entire life, he sold merch on, was literally keep it real. You know what I mean? And your outro is, I don't have the answers.
Guess we'll find out.
But I guess we'll find out. You are the king of, let's me, I don't know.
We'll see.
We'll
see.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out. That's the thing, bro.
And you're like, listen, I don't know yet. And they're like, oh, you're a hater. You're a hater.
This is bullshit. This guy wants to kill Misfits, kill the scene. I'm like, yeah, bro.
But you just don't love it until you see it. And I'm the kind of the same way. I'm just like, but me, you know me, I just, how do I say this? Like, I don't care as much.
That's honestly it. Like, my blood, my soul is in this shit. You know, I'm in the weeds with it because this is where I came up
I'm like,
from.
oh,
you know?
this should be interesting. You
know? Like, hey, cool. What are we doing?
I'm like, cool. Survivor tag? What's that? You know? All right, cool. It looks like it could be fun. Like, to me, I'm like super like, oh, it's probably gonna be great. But then I start thinking, like, oh boy, it could be bad. But I'm hoping for the fighter's sake. You know, I'm leaning towards. Yeah, this is, you know, they're gonna be competing, so I'm hoping this is fun.
And my analytical brain just starts immediately doing the Zach Galifianakis in the fucking Hangover scene. As soon as it comes up, I'm like, all the shit coming out of my head. I'm like, wait a second. If they do this and the analysis says that they do this, the probability of this would be. But listen, at the end of the day, we do hope it's successful as a one-off. I don't want to see it become the mainstay of why we watch influencer boxing, but that's just my opinion. But
no,
Sensei, we've hit him at the outro.
That's not a good thing. That's not a good thing if it is for the
we've hit him with the outro, but let's do it again. So, comment section, let us know what you think. Is this the death of influencer boxing? Or is it just a whole new world? Mermaids, a whole new world. That's not. Is that Mermaid? No, that's Aladdin. I'm an idiot. Don't you dare take my heart. Okay. Well, we're out of here, ladies and gentlemen. So, what happens with this Misfits number 8? We don't have the answers, but I guess we'll find out.
I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. Yeah.